Good morning, everybody. Welcome. So nice to have you here. I hope you're doing so well today. Welcome to Fasting Space. If you are new, I'm Dr. Z. So nice to meet you. I'm an internal medicine physician, weight management, diabetes consultant, and do a lot of talking with people about fasting. Fasting, such overlooked, powerful practice for weight loss and health. And so I treat that kind of as the foundation of my process for helping people move toward better health in the most thoughtful and gentle way. And so we open up fasting space just to the extent we want. And so here, this process, fasting space program, whatever you call this, a chance to connect around this topic. Practice a little fasting together. While we are learning about it, I bring you information, perspective, answer your questions. Today we're talking about how we are what we routinely do. All right, so some big concepts that I try to communicate to people. Finding a space of peace and contentment, a mental, emotional space of peace and contentment. That's a big vibe that I want to communicate on this channel. If we are what we routinely do, well, let's do something where we center ourselves, where we bring down the intensity for a little while. I view this space as kind of like a coffee shop, you know? It's like get together with some friends, have a chat about health and wellness. That's why I throw a little chill music in the background most of the time. Sometimes I like to just keep it, totally quiet, especially if we're doing a talk. Sometimes I dive in, do a real focused talk. So we are what we routinely do. We want to be someone who is calm and peaceful. Let's practice it a little bit. We want to be somebody, here we are in a weight loss space. You say, I want to be somebody who is leaner and stronger. It's what are the habits that drive us there, Talked yesterday a bit about identity, answering the big questions of life. Who am I and what does that mean? And then we talk about the practices, practicing these things. Practicing the way of being is like stepping down the path toward the goal we want. And we've got different tools that we can use along the way. Yesterday, Pat was dialing in on bring some exercise, some more movement. Is feeling like the way to go in that direction. And that's beautiful. I was inspired by that. I've been on a little down cycle where I was like, I haven't quite been exercising quite as much in the morning. My ideal day is to get up and hit a really great workout before I come and do this. And so I was lying in bed last night thinking about, this session yesterday. I would ask myself the same questions, who am I? What am I? I am a person who is an athlete. I am strong and I exercise and I get up and I do it. And so I was firing myself up just from the session, and so I got up this morning. And so I feel so good now. It just makes such a difference. Do you experience that? It's hard. There's a barrier to so many of the things that are healthy, right? So many of the things that are nourishing and life-giving to the body. It's like the voice inside the process, there's resistance, right? It says, oh, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do it today. Do it tomorrow. We can see that in an exercise space. You can see the exact same thing in a fasting space. Delicate line always to walk because, of course, we have said here, no rules, no pressure. We can put so much pressure on ourselves across every domain of life, but especially in health. especially loved the thinking we did yesterday. Um, like where is the joy, like where is the calling? And you say you have to want to do it, you have to want to do something in order to bring the fire, the intensity, and that's what we want. We want to be flowing in directions where it's like, yes, this is the thing I need to be doing. Feeling like the food that we want to eat, there's a calling, right? Like in this world where like the food that is cheaper and it might even like look better because it's packaged and marketed, say, I really want to dial in on this. Like, this is an investment in my health. I'm like purchasing food that is going to become a part of me, such an incredible opportunity to bring thoughtfulness into it. Okay, so we are what we routinely do. Think about eating healthy food. We are the food we eat. It's like we literally are it. So if we are investing in that, taking the time to get to the stores that sell the best food, in some ideal world, building relationships with local producers of healthy food. It's like the highest quality that has not been shipped across the planet. Oh, man. Then we are it, right? And we can bring that across all these domains, right? We are the food that we eat. And then think about it. We are the food that we don't eat. That's how we bring everything into balance with the fasting process, right? It's like the inversion. It's like we can see it. The physical body is built out of the food that we eat, but we say, I want the physical body to be leaner, like there's this part of the physical body, some extra body fat, I want that gone, right? It's like we are going to bring in some fasting into that space, allow that energy to serve its purpose, body's saving that energy to release it when we get through a food-free space, a lean patch, right? Think about like the words, right? Say a lean season, right? There's the famine. This is the history of humanity, that we have survived through great difficulty because of the incredible efficiency and energy storage capabilities of the body, right? Now we are in this, hopefully, privileged place. We say we have enough to eat, and we want to be mindful and try to help everybody to be in that space. Absolutely. But if we are fortunate enough right now to be in that space, say, like, I want my physical body to be leaner. Open up voluntarily the patch of space, the lean season that we create, the fasting space, not out of any guilt or pressure to do it, but when you say, I want it, I want to bring that into my body. I want to bring nothing into my body. Like, what a space, what a space. And then the exercise, right? We are what we routinely do. We want to be strong, right? We want to be strong for life, so that we can be functional, doing the things we want, have the energy. Do you ever feel it where it's like the energy is low? It's like, how do we get the energy? Bring the fire. I put fire emojis in there because I'm feeling fired up now. I did sprints on my stationary bike this morning. Everything matters. I loved that session we did. Everything matters. We want to be healthy people. Everything matters. So our food matters. Our absence of food matters. Our movement matters. And our mental health practice matters. Bringing everything into balance. So think of this balance I was contemplating this morning. Okay, peace and contentment. On one side is like, I was like, what balances like that out? Like, where is the balance? Okay, the other side of it, meaning and purpose, right? So think of that. Like, if we are just sitting, floating in a peaceful thing all the time, like, okay, like, that's great. We want that. But like, there's like energy that balances that out. Like, where is like the drive, the passion, the intensity, the calling, the meaning, the purpose, these things? Like, that is what really completes out like a healthy mental health. You know what I mean? Like, so if we're in a space, we say, Mental, emotional health, not so good right now. Struggling, depression, anxiety, discouragement, so many sort of things, all right? It's like maybe the place to flow first is just to work on it and flow over to that peace and contentment sort of space. Like I say a lot, like neutral can be good enough, right? If we just get to a place like everything is just okay. Beautiful, you know what I mean? And we can take that mindset everywhere. Everything doesn't have to be perfect, extreme. Everything can come into balance. But sometimes, look, if we're stepping forward, if we're moving forward in health, like we open up our mind, like things can be better than just okay, right? Things can be really good. And if we've sat around in a space that is peace and contentment for a while, let's open up some bigger stuff. Good morning, welcome. So nice to have you here. I hope you are doing so well today. We are what we routinely do. I just want to keep centering on that. I've been thinking, about it personally. I've been thinking, okay, I like to say on the channel, right, we are on a journey together. And the big journey, okay, I am trying to help lead people toward better health. This is like, I am dialed into that space in the best that I can. I'm on a personal journey, right? It's like, I want to get better at doing it. And the synergy between these things that I realized is like, how do you get better at it? It's like, to me, I read, like, this is what I do. And I was realizing, okay, I want to get better thinking for people, like better thoughts. The thoughts, as far as I can tell, you bring me any good perspective that you can. The thoughts that could hopefully help me have better thinking for you, the same things will help anyone to walk on a health path. The thoughts that are creative and thoughtful, insightful, powerful thoughts and analogies. It's like every thought, little tools to help us solve problems in our life that are barriers that we're trying to overcome, right? So I've chosen books, okay? The way I know, how do you find thoughts like that? Find the best books. I'm trying to find, the best thinking to bring into our space so that we can all move forward together. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to move forward in my process of helping you, give you these thoughts. We all grow in our learning and understanding together. So one of these books, some people have gotten that one, The Mountain is You. I just love that. And I've been dialing on that quite a bit and balancing it out with this one, Atomic Habits. And I know people also have read that. I've really been loving these thoughts. And so I wanted to share a little excerpt of this with you today. Thinking of, like, this is how I'm framing this kind of chapter. We are what we do. Ooh, I like this. Someone said, what I utter with my mouth, my actions must prove. I like that. Thank you for sharing that. That is a great thought. There's such a powerful connection there. And we have, I have said some session that I was doing is about the power of our words. And like so many times we get stuck in our own head, right? And we get stuck in thoughts. Do you ever experience this? Thoughts just running around, racing around. And it's like, but we're not really going anywhere. And it's like we feel trapped in a thing. Like here's like one thing to consider. Just speak. Like speak it out. Like say, hey, I'm having like these thoughts. And then try to like reprogram in. Actually speak the types of thoughts and experiences you want to be having. And especially if you can dial it into this kind of identity. Hey, I am a person that is on a health path and I am walking in this direction. And this is what I'm going to accomplish in this day. This is heading into this actions. Uttering it with the mouth, like you are saying it, helping to drive the action. Because of course, thinking a thought, right, is a good thing, but then manifesting it in action is really what we want to do. And so to make the thought more tangible, speak it. To reprogram a bad thought, replace it out loud with something verbal, Maybe head in the mirror. That was that section. I said, look yourself in the mirror. Have a little conversation with yourself, Say, hey, I am a strong person. I am not going to listen to this negative self-talk anymore. I am going to take, one action. Make it small. Make it an atomic habit. Make it a tiny goal that you can accomplish. They say that is building the evidence of who you are. This is kind of where this section is going. Say, okay, let's center ourselves. We are what we routinely do. I think we'll read through it here in one of these sections, but it's like when we say, who are we actually? It's like if we kind of are what we do. When we try to answer it, say, who am I? We actually look at what we do. I was like, well, I'm a person who does these things, right? So if you want evidence that you are on a path, that you're moving somewhere different, just do one small thing. And now, since you have done it, now you have some evidence to say, oh, look, I have done this thing. I'm a person who does this, right? So this is like an incredible process of change. Build some little bits of evidence. It's like getting the process going. Here's an interesting story. So this gentleman, James Clear, at one point, think about his life. He was a kid. He's growing up. He wasn't a writer, but then he became like an incredibly famous professional writer. And so look at this just story of development and think about how this sort of idea, we could bring this into our own life and our own process of what we're trying to accomplish, whatever it is. He says, for most of my early life, I didn't consider myself a writer. If you were to ask any of my high school teachers or college professors, they would tell you I was average writer at best, certainly not a standout. When I began my writing career, I published a new article every Monday and Thursday for the first few years. As the evidence grew, so did my identity as a writer. I didn't start out as a writer, but I became one through my habits. Isn't that so interesting just to think about? He's obviously a writer. He's like a best-selling author, New York Times bestsellers, so many people. I mean, I don't know how many people know about this book. Tons of people know about this book and have read it. It's helped so many people. How did it come into being? It came into being by him just doing it, awesome. This is such an incredible example for say we have a goal, we have something we want to accomplish. We have a health goal. We say, I want to lose weight. I want my blood sugar better. I want blood pressure better. I want to feel better. All these sort of things. See, it's one thing to think the thought of it. Okay, we start thinking the thought of it. We say, how do we manifest that reality? How do we do it? How do we become it? It's like, well, we start taking the steps to do it. How do you become a writer? You write, right? And this didn't happen instantly. You don't make something like this that affects millions of people. It's like overnight, right? You don't just say, I'm a best-selling author now. You go through the practice of doing it and build it. This is the same thing. You don't just say, I've lost weight now. It just doesn't happen instantly. It's the same thing. It's like you go through a process. And that process of doing it, of becoming it, you say, I'm going to become a leaner person. Just like the process of writing, I publish every Monday and Thursday. What is the system that is helping you to become whatever your goal is? This, do you see how it is merging with the Rick Rubin book that I've been going through, the creative act that is all artistic? It's totally right brain. It's like, how do we paint a beautiful picture, basically? How do we sing a beautiful song? But the thought is the same sort of process, right? How do I become something? Creating the life, the experience that I want. I just love the overlap of that. Love that. No more negative self-talk, right? No more bad talking to the self. There's good. Just I like that session we did, something like looking toward the light. You know what I mean? Look toward the light, see the good, lifting ourselves up, giving ourselves a pep talk, giving ourselves every good advantage that we need. There's enough negative influences in the world. You know what I mean? There's enough things trying to bring us down, tell us we're not good enough, that we're small and we have no power or agency. Okay. Are you on your own side? Are we on our own side? Are we giving ourselves every encouraging word that we can? This section is comparing like something that happens, like a one-time event, with a routine, with a habit. So think about this. The effect of a one-off experience tends to fade away, while the effect of habits gets reinforced. This means that habits contribute most of the evidence that shapes our identity. In this way, this is the part I love, the process of building habits is actually the process of becoming yourself. Isn't that such a cool way to think about it? It's like we're becoming ourself, like the future self. We're becoming ourself through the daily habits and practices that are shaping us. Really nice way to think about it, right? Really nice. I love the gentle, do you hear the gentle little movement in this song? The little chord. Each one of those chords to me, that's like a step in the direction. Calm, peaceful, thoughtful. That's like this, the process of becoming yourself, one note at a time, one chord at a time. It's like each day is like, let's make it like one of those chords. You know, a chord, right? It's built up of multiple notes. Think of it this way. It's like the chord that we're playing, the beautiful melody. It's the stack of all of these things, the mental health practices, the movement, the food, the fasting space, right? So every good thing of health, we stack it together. That's like a beautiful chord. Every day, just marching to that beat, that rhythm. He says here, we don't change by snapping our fingers and deciding to be someone entirely new. It doesn't just happen, right? We change bit by bit, day by day, habit by habit. We are continually growing, continuing that process. That's that rhythm, the beat, stacking the practices, building the routines in the process. It says every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. How cool is that as a thought? He goes in here to say basically like, okay, you're casting votes. Everything that you're doing is a vote for who you want to be in the future. And it was like, he talks about kind of an election metaphor. It's like, and that's why he says you don't have to be perfect, right? You don't win the election. It's like 100% of the votes, right? Perfection not required. You want to tip the balance in your favor. 60-40 be an incredible outcome, right? You're going to win the election at 60%, you know? And I love that. Perfection is not required, right? When we think about, okay, we are what we routinely do. Doesn't have to be perfect. Like, what are we doing most of the time? Like, say most of the time. Like, you know, good enough. Most of the time, I'm choosing the healthiest foods. Most of the time, I'm getting some movement into the body. Most of the time, I'm giving myself the most thoughtful, positive thoughts that I can. Most of the time in a day, I open up some space without food if I'm trying to lose weight. You know what I mean? It's like most of the time. I'm like, dude, trying the best. Perfection not required. Couldn't even do it. Like you say, couldn't even do it if you wanted to. So why stress yourself out about it? We got enough stress in life, you know? Absolutely take the pressure off of ourselves. Perfection not required. But having, big goals also is great. That's the balance. Having a goal and striving to be the best that we absolutely can. See, I put a smile on the face because it's like when you're called to it, not out of any pressure or judgment, like, oh, if I screw up, if I'm not perfect, like punishing myself. No. Just doing the very best that we can with the opportunity. See, joy, excitement, move toward the joy, move toward the light, move toward the excitement. Right? When you're moving in a joyful space, when you're doing the best that you can, you just feel it. You say, I'm dialed in here. I am moving in just the best that I can. See, that feels good, right? It doesn't feel good to act out of guilt, to be punishing, to be afraid, like, oh, if I screw this up, I just am letting myself down again. Okay, never think like that again, right? You don't want to bring any kind of negative experience, right? You want to say, like, look at the type of person that I am. I am a person who's just doing my best. I recognize, like, life is difficult. Like, look at the challenges that I have. And in the face of all of this difficulty, I am doing my best. See, you just got to give yourself a big pat on the back to be doing something like that. Like, feel so good about it. You say, look, like, I am taking the most kind and thoughtful attitude. I have all these obstacles. I'm going to move toward them in the most thoughtful and gentle way. But thoughtful and gentle, like water flowing that we see, is actually powerful. It carves through the stone. It creates the canyon, It's like nobody could even do it, but the water it flowed through, and then it didn't happen instantly, right? Water doesn't flow through a canyon in a day, right? It takes a process and time. So that's what we're all in, and we have time. You know what I mean? That's what I say. Everything is okay, Like, we don't have to rush everything. Everything is happening in its own time, in its own season. We can move toward it in a thoughtful and gentle way, practicing these beautiful practices that lead toward health, life, vitality, flourishing. In this section, he says, the first step isn't what or how, but who. Who do you want to be? And I underline this. He says, otherwise your quest for change is like a boat without a rudder. I put that because I say that a lot. It's like, I've said that. That is absolutely true. That is kind of the deepest question. I did that session, the most important question in weight loss. I said, what do I really want? Maybe this would challenge that, and maybe this is like the connection. Like, who am I really? Maybe is that even a more powerful question than what do I want? God, let's think on that deeply. What do I really want? So important. That may be the meaning. Like, who am I really? Yeah. What is a bold prayer for me? Like, if you're saying a prayer for yourself, right? You're trying to be really intentional. That prayer is something about, like, the future, right? We're praying, as bringing so much thoughtful intensity to something. But what is it, What do I really want, or who am I really? Who am I trying to be? However it shakes out, how does it shake out for you? What is a more powerful question? Maybe On a different day, you answer the question differently, and that's okay. And maybe you don't know how to answer it, in the moment. And that is okay too. Like, we're searching for a place of clarity, Like, wouldn't it be great if everything in life was just clear all the time? It's like, oh, everything is clear. We're trying to create a space here. Fasting space, I would say, it is about that. Have you experienced it? Physical fasting space in the body. You open up some space without food. It's like you experience more clarity. Like the thinking is more clear. I know in my personal experience, fasting space, an incredible space for like productivity, getting things done, thinking clearly. You can see the distinction most clearly, I think. We say, where would be the time where you are like least likely to want to be productive? It's like least, you want to do your least amount of like really powerful thinking, like right after Thanksgiving dinner, right? You just have some huge meal and you eat all this food. It's like you want to like lay on the couch, you have some big meal. That just shows you, okay, we're not in our prime thinking there. And physiologically in the body is because like the blood flow is all getting shunted down to the GI tract. Like that's one of the things. And then all those digestive, the hormones, the insulin, all these things, is like we have shifted out of fasting space into digestion mode, right? Into food processing mode. And so, got to do that from time to time. But then look at the whole other side of the equation, okay? When we have opened up a fasting space, we've completely cleared out any blood sugar swings, insulin level totally stable, everything calm, no blood flow going to the digestive system. That's like mental clarity space. Get so much done. Queen of Heaven says yes, getting more done. It's like super productive space. I've got some sessions, live sessions, if you look in the archives, fasting productivity sessions, that are just a space, dial in with some thoughtful music, have that dedicated fasting productivity space. Love it. Clarity, right? So clarity in the short term, fasting space, like actually in the body. What I'm trying to create here in this space, this is the mirror, right? Fasting space in the body, fasting space, the program, a session to try to help us dial in on the thinking, to help us actually do it in the most powerful way. Seeking clarity, this is what I want. Think of the weight loss landscape in the country, in the world, today. So many things are not clear, so many things not clear because so many people trying to sell things, so many people influenced by so much of culture and so much of things. It can be hard in a landscape to even say, like, what is even true, as if people disagree about so many things. Simple fasting, part of the idea, I choose the word simple, is just like we're looking for clarity, It's like in the midst of all this confusion, can we bring things down to a level? It's like it's comprehensible. We just want to understand what is happening so that we can move forward, What is the path to move forward? Where is the clarity? This is what we are seeking. What are things that are true? This is what I care about. I want things that are true and honest and effective, sustainable in the long term. This is what we want. We say we are what we routinely do. We want to be doing just this, get the basics down. I was watching a video yesterday, and it was giving an analogy of some pro tennis player. I'm not a tennis person, okay? But they were doing this video, one of the best tennis players in the world, and they were watching his practice session, and they were comparing it with an amateur. And, an amateur tennis player, they're doing all these crazy drills and like all these things, and I'm sure they've done that. But they were just watching this session from this guy, and all he was doing was practicing for the serve, just practicing throwing the ball up again and catching it, just again and again. The very most basic thing, And they're saying like this guy who's like you think would be doing the most advanced drills. He's got tons of money. He's got professional coaches, all this stuff. What is he doing? He doesn't have special machines. He doesn't have all this stuff. He's just throwing the ball again and again and repping just the very basic to do like his very best on the fundamentals. And so that's what I'm say about this space. Like the fundamentals, the very basic sort of things. Think how complicated everything has been made in weight loss, and think how expensive and how confusing, and it's just all this thing. I was like, hey, let's bring things down to like a really, really simple, basic, pure level. Or try to eliminate as much confusion as possible. Move toward things in as thoughtful and gentle a way as possible. That's actually what makes it the most powerful. When we're not burning ourselves out in any fashion. When we recognize, okay, there are powerful practices here. You realize fasting is a powerful practice. Choosing healthy foods, a powerful practice. Movement, powerful practice. Mindfulness practices, each one of these things are incredible tools of wellness in their own regard. You can lean into all of them. Each of them is a pathway toward health and flourishing, okay? And then it's like you start to realize that, and you're like, oh man, and then like we can mix all of these things together, and we realize it's like there's so many good things to do. I was like, that's why we can be thoughtful and gentle with it. Build the positive encouragement, enthusiasm where it's like every day I have an opportunity to practice like these things. Put them together in this incredible melody of health, playing the song that is my expression of health, like just beautiful, and that's how we can get in a space we don't have to force anything. Fasting never forced. I say the same thing either way. It's like exercise never have to be forced. We don't have to force ourselves into some specific dietary thing. You say, oh, I'm going on this diet. I can only eat this types of things. It's like, and we get stuck into these grooves, where we feel trapped in it. Even you could do it in fasting. Say, well, I got to a certain place. I was only eating one meal a day. Oh, mad. And I got to think, that can be great for a season, but you say, do you need to step back, And some people will say, oh, I've gotten to this level. I can't ever go back. And I say, no. These are flexible processes. All of this, see, we want so much flexibility because like our life is dynamic. Seasons change. We can't get stuck into rigid things. Otherwise, it can't be sustainable. And so we want to see the whole palette, the different health processes, like different colors of paint. We're trying to paint this beautiful expression of health in our life. Sometimes we're painting with one color, like a whole bunch. Sometimes we're painting with another one, right? And like in our analogy, it's like, I don't say like we lean on one side, like don't abandon the other ones, but like we can pull back in one spot, lean forward to another space. Like you say here, Queen of Heaven says, winter has been hard on me. Yeah, I mean, winter is the hardest season by far for weight loss, for health, for many reasons. We got holidays in there. It's like the culture's like just pushing food, and like that, there's certain good to it, It's great to connect with friends and family, but it is a challenge to try to lose weight during that season. And then it's dark. I think for me personally, on a mental health perspective, the dark is even harder than the cold. I'm up here in Wisconsin, frigid place, but I think it's the dark. I've described myself as like a plant. I say that when the sun is shining, my mood is like better. Do you feel that way? And like it is when the spring is coming and the light is coming, like you try to get up. Today I got up. I was psyched up by the session yesterday. I set the alarm. It's totally dark. I got up. I exercised. Okay, but that's a barrier to have to do it. When the sun is up at 5:30 and is like it's bright, it's a lot easier to do that, right? And then the cold too. See, it's easy to say, I want to get outside. I want to be active, right? Get some fresh air, get the actual sunshine, right? Well, it's another barrier in the winter, right? If it is cold, it's like, I just want to stay inside. It's another barrier. So what we are doing here in this space, especially great, here we are in the winter, right? We are doing our best to do it and recognize, right? If you look at epidemiological studies, meaning like population level studies, I mean, most people gain weight over the winter. People do. And a lot of people lose weight over the summer. It's like when we're most active. Absolutely. So we are right now in this space. We're recognizing the realities of these things and saying, hey, let's put together the practices, the routines that help to mitigate this to the best we can. And that could include like saying just preservation is progress, you know? Like I say, hey, if you can float through the winter and just keep everything in balance, not gaining weight and not necessarily losing, realize, hey, we floated through that season. We just preserved everything. See, that could be good enough. And then as the spring is coming, the energy is flowing. We're easier to get more active. Maybe when you're getting more active, you say easier to distract myself can get me into a more of a fasting space. See, all these things flow together. There can be seasons to things. That's the point of what I was trying to do. There's seasons to things. We can flow through them. We've got the whole palette of space, of wellness space to operate off of. Different people going to approach that in different ways, you know. I try to tell people, look, in the winter, maybe fasting is actually the path to lean into more heavily in this winter season. I like to say, look at the trees, okay? Especially here in the frozen north, leaves have fallen off, trees basically gone to sleep. However you want to think about it, they're hibernating through the winter. Trees aren't eating, right? No light coming in, no tree eating. We can mirror that. And we can say, look, in the winter, maybe I'm not so active. And so maybe I can just be like the tree, the winter, the natural cycle, fasting through the winter. And you say in the summer, is it lighter, it's warmer, easier to get out, be more active. You say, maybe I won't do so much fasting then, but I'm leaning more on the activity. So you can move it. Other people would do that opposite, you know. People would say it's harder for me to lean into one of these practices in the winter, but when I'm out and active, it's easier to do. We are trying to learn. See, there is not a one-size-fits-all process for every person. Even individually for each person, these can change throughout the year, throughout the season. So we want to give ourselves the flexibility, you know. Flexibility is what makes it sustainable. Think of like the tree. What tree survives the storm, right? The one that is flexible, right? The one that is so hard that could snap, right? In the big storm, right? So we're in kind of a storm in life, right? So much stress, so much pressure every way. We want to give ourselves the most flexibility that we can, so that we can bend and adapt to everything that comes our way. It's how we can stay on track, on the path, windy as it may be. Yeah, like you're saying, stress, worry, it affects everything. This is the reality. This is the pressure that we face. This is like kind of ever present, you know. Stress and worry, it is affecting everything in life. We have to deal with all of these things. This, I really loved the thinking we did the other day about the cocoon, you know, think of caterpillar going in, cocoon. It's creating a very protected environment. Caterpillar going through a process, a transformation, becoming a butterfly, right? What an incredible process. That takes place in the cocoon, this protected thing. If the caterpillar, it goes in there, it's doing its thing. If you cut open the cocoon, you're going to kill it. It can't go through the process of becoming something new and beautiful without this protected space. And so look what we're trying to do. We say we're trying to grow, we're trying to develop, we're trying to become something new. I was like, we need to have a protected space. You know what I mean? This is what I kind of envision this program or this type of session being, like a space where we can guard our mind, guard our thoughts, like clarify our thinking every day, you know? It's like kind of the thought, dial in and focus. What are the things that truly matter? How am I going to approach this day and just win this day? This is how we start living in the present, right? So much of worry and things is like we're afraid of the future. We hear about some thing that is happening. We say, how's that going to affect my future? What is going to happen to me? Am I going to be okay, right? In large measure, the process of building our little cocoon, right? Our practice of health space, protected space where we can transform, grow into something new. Protecting us from that. Say, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to have some trust. I'm going to trust that things are going to work out okay. I'm going to believe that things are going to be okay. I'm going to sink into this present moment, because this is ultimately the only thing that we can actually do or experience. We can only do and experience right now. And you say, being in the cocoon, caterpillar is not worried about its life as a butterfly in the future. See, it doesn't even know. It's like, I'm just going to take care of this present day, the work that I can do right now, right here in this moment. That's today. That's the rest of this. So I say, let's ground ourselves here, now, in the present moment. Create a space and environment for ourselves where we can take the powerful steps that are present in this day. And that powerful step could be just finding a few moments of peace, contentment. Take a little moment to do some check-in, take a few deep breaths, give ourselves some encouraging words, just tell ourselves, hey, everything is okay. Everything is going to be okay. See, this is an incredible health practice, because you start telling yourself that. It's like bringing the pressure down, help to calm things down. That's having physiologic effects in the body, right? That parasympathetic flow is going out. That's what's bringing down the stress levels in the body. Help to balance the hormonal state, right? As we have cortisol, stress hormones. We did that session. Chronic inflammation. We saw the flow into different disease states, that chronic stress. And it's not even just the chronic stress, because so much chronic stress can't be avoided, but how are we coping with it? That's what can flow into weight gain and blood sugar problems, all these sort of things. So you want to get way upstream of that. Can something as simple as a breathing practice that is helping to mitigate our stress balance it out? See, that's part of what forms our kind of cocoon, right? Our little barrier from the stress of life. We can't stop the stress from happening, but we try to keep it from affecting our process, our system, our way of being, right? So having a space like that, then in the midst of all this stress that is happening, all the difficulty we have to do, we say we are remaining healthy despite of that. In the midst of it, we are flowing through these difficult things. The actual tools and practices that are actually helping us walk our path, that are helping us to be healthy, they are all stress management tools, choosing healthy foods that gives our body strength and nutrition so that we can think clearly and be strong in our best. Fasting space, like we were saying, open up spaces of mental clarity where we can do our best thinking, be our most productive, get as much done to deal with all the things that we have to do. It's like, how do we show up as the best version of ourselves, the strongest, the most thoughtful and powerful? Okay, you got to really take care of yourself, to do that. Be incredibly thoughtful. This is what we're all trying to do here together. Build the best thinking, the most thoughtful perspective that help us to flow through life and our day in the most thoughtful, powerful, healthy way that we can. And then to me, this is like the ultimate inversion of what is classically happening in our society. Like, we feel bombarded, or I know I do, can feel bombarded by all the stress and the pressure and, of everything that is happening and that we have to do. And so many avenues that can be coming on. Financial pressure and social pressure, all these sort of things. And we invert that whole process outward, where we're starting with ourselves first. We're grounded and we're present in this space, and we are developing the skills across all of these domains of health, so that we are filling ourselves up with health, and then we can radiate that out into the world, shine the light outward. And that to me is like, that's the one thing we can do, is like say, I can't control this, I can't control that, I wish these things weren't happening. I was like, but here's my one little life right here. And we can do these just basic things. We take care of ourselves the best we can, and then we send that out. Showing a lot of grace to ourselves on the way. That's what we got to do. We are what we routinely do. I say let's do those things. Let's do these health practices. Let's practice it in our day. Show ourselves tons of grace. Do the best that we can and flow into these spaces. It's like, look for the opportunities. Where can I open up some fasting space today if it feels good to do it? How can I choose the healthiest food in this day that nourishes my body? How can I move my body in a healthy way, that maybe is killing so many birds with one stone, bringing blood sugar down, bringing stress level down, burn up the stress, just take a walk, right? Do you experience that? You take a walk, it helps you process things in a different way. Move forward in all these spaces, and then we will reconvene tomorrow, and we will take another step forward in health together. Really great to share this space with you all. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here and for the comments and discussions, and I will look forward to continuing the conversation. Be well, everybody.